What's going on, people? This is Dr. Korede. It is June 7th at 6:52 in the morning, and I am starting a podcast called The Doctor Next Door. I get questions all the time about different diet fads or supplements and things like that. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? So I felt like it would be nice if I just shared things through a podcast about relevant health information and things that I do or I know or other doctors know, and just give it to you and see if you guys like that. A little bit about me, I am an internist and rheumatologist. I'm double boarded. I've been practicing for over 12 years and I'm still actively seeing patients. So everything I tell you is based in reality. I'm not a podcast bro. I'm not trying to sell you something. And I actually am an MD. So I think that when I say something or I say I don't know, I'm being truthful. All right. So this first episode, I wanted to cover 5 things that I think people either don't know or don't recognize how important they are to their overall health, and how you can do very small things and become healthier overall. 5 doctor secrets, as it were, that will make you healthier if you implement these in your everyday life. Number 1, respect your sleep. I don't know why, but we don't take sleep seriously in our society. Sleep affects weight, your mood, your memory, blood pressure, inflammation, your overall health. Research has linked little to no sleep with the risk of death, diabetes, heart attack, stroke, you name it. We don't realize how important sleep is for our overall health. And without it, you are increasing the risk for all sorts of things. Did you know, for instance, that your immune system is not functioning well if you're not getting good sleep? You're more likely to get sick. You're more likely to struggle with health disease. So it's very important that you respect your sleep. All right. Sleep isn't downtime. It's one of the most powerful health interventions available to us. And the practical action step I would give you for respecting your sleep is, for the next week, set a consistent bedtime. If you don't remember anything else from this episode today, you are going to find whatever time you want to go to sleep and make that your bedtime every single night. Your body likes rhythm. We have this thing called a circadian rhythm. Your body will start getting naturally tired at the same time every night if you adhere to a specific sleep schedule. And it'll wake up naturally at the same time as well. The recommendation is typically that we get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And if you adhere to the same time each night, your body gets better quality sleep. It gets into a rhythm. It knows that this is when we go to sleep, and it knows this is when it's time to rise. So look up sleep hygiene, understand all the different parameters around it, but that is something free that you can do that will enhance your overall health. It's not just about feeling tired. It's about how it has tentacles in all sorts of domains in your health. Heart disease, heart attacks, type 2 diabetes, you name it. So we are going to work on sleep. If your iPhone doesn't get charged overnight, it isn't very great the next day. Sometimes it doesn't function at all. Sometimes it's a low power mode. It's a weaker version of your iPhone. That is you without sleep. All right. Number 2. The health problem that comes before all others. Healthy people recognize that obesity or weight gain actually contributes, or likely is the precursor of, a lot of other things. You're talking about diabetes. We're talking about high blood pressure, sleep apnea, or arthritis. A lot of times the obesity is the first thing that happens, right? You're in your 20s. You can eat pizza all day and not sleep and nap whenever you want to and still look amazing, right? Well, you're in your late 20s or 30s and that weight kind of sits with you, right? It's not something you're doing differently. It's that the body is changing. Your body composition changes as we age. We hold on to more fat, we lose more muscle, right? Well, now you're married. Now you got kids. Now you're pursuing your career and you're gaining that weight. You're not as active as you once were and your body's changing, right? Well, a lot of times this is the first precursor for all those other health issues, right? The weight comes first. And then you increase the risk of diabetes, and then you're having trouble getting your blood pressure low, and then now you have sleep apnea, right? So I'm just suggesting to you that a lot of people recognize that maintaining an ideal weight is actually best for preventing the development of a lot of other diseases as we go along. So the practical action step is not just to shame or make fun of people that are overweight or obese. I recognize that some people have health issues, genetics, there's other things that come along with it, but we're all going to address our weight. We're going to recognize where we are. You can look up your body mass index online. And that's not a perfect science, by the way, and we'll dive into that in some other episode. But we're going to see where you fall in someone's in our standardization of someone that's your height and at your weight, and it's called a body mass index. So you're going to see where you fall when you Google that, and you're going to work on this. And what we're going to do, our practical action step for the next week, is we're just going to reduce our daily caloric intake by about 250 to 500 calories. I didn't say GLP-1. I didn't say bariatric surgery. I'm saying let's do something quick and easy you can implement into your everyday life that will help you lose weight. By far, reducing your caloric intake will help. Skip one sugary drink. Skip a late night snack. One unnecessary serving each day. Look at the back of these boxes. If it's got a whole bunch of added sugar in it, right? You don't need that, right? Those calories are contributing to your weight, which is contributing to your high blood pressure, which is contributing to your sleep apnea. We don't need these things, and we can make inroads just by simply reducing the overall amount that we eat. So we're all going to work on reducing our calorie intake this week. All right, next up. Healthy people exercise not just for appearance, but for function, right? Everybody wants a hot summer body. I get it, right? Maybe you're looking for a mate. Maybe you want to be able to fit into that wedding dress. Maybe you just like looking at yourself in the mirror, whatever it is, vanity, right? It's important that you recognize that that's only one piece of the puzzle. Functionality is so important. As we age, as we go through time, we lose muscle mass, right? And it's so important that we maintain that muscle mass for mobility and independence and quality of life as we get older. Many of us know someone that as they got older, they're no longer able to move. A lot of people develop a poor posture and are kind of hunched over, or many other things. But if you start making those investments today in terms of exercise, you can preserve your function, right? I did not come up with this, but I've heard this before. If you want to live long, do a lot of cardio, right? Make sure your heart is healthy, right? People that live really, really long lives have really strong hearts and do cardio, right? But if you want to live well, you want to do strength training, resistance training, because this is what preserves your mobility, your independence, and helps you maintain muscle mass as we get older, right? There's something called sarcopenia. It happens to everybody. We lose muscle mass as we get older. It's not something you're doing wrong. It's just a part or consequence of life. If you're here and you're getting older, you're going to lose muscle, right? It just happens. So you have to prevent that. You want to stabilize that by exercising, right? Do you want to be the 6-year-old who's still out here getting it and going on trips and stuff like that, seeing her grandkids, or the 60-year-old dude who's still hanging out with the fellas and doing whatever? Or do you want to be hanging with Dr. Korede in the hospital, right? It's up to you, right? But how do you want to meet that age? How do you want to meet the next decade of life, right? And if you want to be healthy, I would encourage you to exercise for functionality, not just appearance. And both things will be of benefit to you. All right. So the takeaway is you're going to train for the life you want later, not just for the hot body you want today. The practical action step for this week will be to complete 2 strength training sessions this week, even if they're only 20 minutes long. So that can be 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes afternoon. You just want to get 20 minutes in each for these 2 training sessions. I like compound exercises the most. I think these are great for functionality. I'm a big proponent of things that don't require you to invest in a whole workout center in your room or a gym membership, because you will talk yourself out of it, right? It's too expensive, right? Oh, it's raining today, I'm not going to go to the gym. Whatever it is, right? We're all lazy. So you can do air squats. You can do 20 air squats in the morning, right? And 10 push-ups. That requires limited investment. If your body will allow you, if you don't have health issues, just do 20 air squats in the morning and 10 push-ups. And then in the afternoon, before lunch, you're going to do 20 air squats and 10 push-ups. And then maybe again in the evening. Those are some exercises, and there are many others that you can do without much investment that will help contribute to your strength training or exercise and your overall health. You may want to include some other things if it's about 20 minutes long, but just saying we're going to try to do that. 2 strength training sessions this week. All right, next. A lot of healthy people and doctors I know are skeptical of health trends. Every year there's some miracle diet, this supplement, this health hack. Oh my God, this is going to change the world. This is going to help you lose weight. You have long, luxurious hair. Your marriage is going to be fixed, and all the mean girls are going to be nice to you, right? Whatever it is, man. You're going to get the hot lady and get remarried to the young chick, and everybody's going to think you're the funniest guy in the office, right? Whatever you need to tell yourself, or whatever they need to promote to you to get you to click on it to buy the supplement, that's what they're going to tell you, right? We forget that there's been many popular health trends that came and went in the past. Fat-free foods in the 90s, right? Everything was fat-free. You slap a fat-free label on it and people are going to buy it. They're going to rush to it and buy it. Well, what we didn't recognize is they're throwing a whole bunch of added sugar into it, right? So now you're still getting an unhealthy supplement or an unhealthy amount of sugar, and that's just as bad, right? So we have to recognize that they will do things in our society to get you to buy stuff. The fen weight loss drugs. People forgot we had these weight loss drugs. People were losing weight. They're great. Oh my God. But what we found out over time, when we took time to research and understand it, is that it also causes heart disease, right? So now we have more time. And now they're not even on the market anymore. They pulled them off the market, right? And we recognize that something that may have helped with certain things really caused some really bad heart issues. So now they're no longer here. So we have to critically think about these things. How long has it been on the market? Detox cleanses, alkaline diets. I can tell you patients have almost died because they did detox diets, right? So you're promised that you do this and it's great and blah, blah, blah. And some dude with a labeler and an entrepreneurial mindset convinces you to take this diet they've concocted, right? There's no standardization. You don't know what's in it. You could drink one this day and this other day. It may not be the same because nobody's standardizing it, right? And unfortunately, there may be side effects that you're unaware of. I'm not telling you to poo-poo all the health trends, all the supplements. I'm saying that we need to think critically about it and give it time and understand the science. I know science is a bad word now. People don't like doctors. I can do my own research. ChatGPT is the best doctor I've ever had. I get it. But I still think that there is wisdom in waiting and understanding how this affects humans longitudinally, meaning over time, before you rush into something. Here's a few. The oral NAD+ supplements for anti-aging, continuous glucose monitoring for healthy individuals without diabetes. There may be a place for it, but not everyone probably needs a continuous glucose monitor. The hormone balancing programs, expensive longevity supplement stacks, all these podcast bros promoting supplements and stuff like that. A lot of times we haven't really considered just getting good sleep, right? Let's get our weight under control. Let's do some strength training, right? Let's try to work on our blood pressure control. Let's try not smoking or reducing our alcohol intake. Let's be consistent with our physical activity and see if that improves stuff without taking on a risk of trying a new unproven medication or something, right? The takeaway is, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is, right? I mean, there's so many things out there that are promising you the world, right? But it doesn't always work, right? And we don't know everything yet. Before trying a new supplement, the practical action I'm going to give y'all this week is ask yourself, who is selling this and how do they make money from it? Is everyone taking it actually receiving the promised benefit, or only a subset of people, right? Well, I guess 30 reviews, 20 of them look fake. Maybe they're paid actors. After 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, I don't even see people talking about this supplement anymore. Yeah, I mean, you may be bamboozled, right? It may not be real, right? So take a moment and try to think critically about, Are people that are actually taking this getting the benefit? And how many of them are? And are there side effects? How long has it been on the market? Do we truly understand the long-term risk and side effects? What does the best available evidence actually show, right? Doctors are often skeptical, not because we don't think some stuff is good or we don't want to try stuff, but we know that when you have thousands of people take something and time has passed, you get a better picture, right? You can now see clearly, like, okay, this is how it affects humans overwhelmingly, right? This is a large number of people, and we can extrapolate that. We have more confidence in what will happen, right? Oh, now we've had this medication out for 3 years. We have 3 years of data we can look through and say, this is typically what happened. This is typically a safe medication, right? So practical action is ask yourself these questions before you jump into a new health trend. And more importantly, try the things we're talking about that you can do on your own without investing money into someone else's idea, and see if they help. All right. The last one I'm going to give you today is healthy people focus on consistency over perfection, right? They're consistent. These are disciplined people. It isn't that everyone healthy is perfect with their diet. They don't exercise every day. They don't spend every waking minute thinking about health. No, they do simple things repeatedly. They get good sleep. They go for walks. They stay active. They maintain deep, thoughtful relationships, meaningful relationships, and it helps their mental health and their stress. They feel validated and loved, and they have connections to things, right? They have purpose, right? They eat reasonably well most of the time, right? Notice I said most of the time, right? Every now and then you have a donut, okay? You have some pizza, all right? But they don't do that all the time, and they're relatively disciplined. They make healthy investments most of the week. So when you make that small withdrawal, it doesn't negatively impact your health account, okay? Why most people fail? Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a month and underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years. The problem is not usually the plan. The problem is the plan isn't sustainable, right? Health works like investing. Small decisions compound over time. 10-minute walks compound. I take the stairs at work. I don't take the elevator. So after 3 and 4 times up and down the stairs, lunch, whatever, I have definitely generated some extra heartbeats and got my heart rate up. And I get a good high off of that, right? I drink a lot of water over soda, right? I reduce my caloric intake. I try to maintain a consistent bedtime. The benefits may feel invisible at first, but over the years you start to see it. You won't. It's not 1 to 2 weeks. I'm talking about months and years. Then you start to, man, I dropped 5 pounds, but this is something I can hold on to. I dropped 5 pounds. It took me 3 months, but you know what? This is something I can adhere to, right? These people tend to do the best, right? Practical action step is choose one healthy habit you can realistically perform every day for the next 30 days. Make it so easy that failure becomes difficult. I'm not advocating for joining a gym and dropping $30 and going every day after work, right? You will convince yourself that it's too tired. It rained a little earlier, so I'm not going, right? Today, I just can't make it. It's too cold, right? But if you're doing air squats and push-ups at your house, if you're watching a YouTube video with some cardio, you knock out 15, 20, there's no excuses, right? Limited investment, huge payoff. So we're going to commit to being consistent and choose a healthy habit you can actually do. All right. In closing, my recap is we want to prioritize sleep. We recognize that's just like another medication. We need that. Our brain, our heart, our body, inflammation, everything needs to reset. We need to rejuvenate. We need good sleep, 7 to 9 hours. And we're going to try to maintain a consistent bedtime. We're going to address the first domino before chronic disease develops, obesity. We're going to talk about weight and be honest with ourselves and understand that there are many risks. There are many issues and genetics and reasons that people are overweight or obese, and we're not making fun of them, but we're saying we're going to be honest about it and understand the role that that plays in developing other disease. We're going to build strength and function, number 3, by exercising regularly, right? We're going to age gracefully, right? We're going to be able to do the things we want to do as we get older, even though life is trying to take our muscle from us, okay? We're going to be skeptical of health fads. We're going to think critically. Number 4, we're going to think to ourselves, who is selling me this? Why are they? Does this even work? Right? How new is this? Right? And number 5, we're going to focus on consistency. Rather than choosing something that I'm not going to be able to adhere to the whole year, I'm going to choose something small and adhere to that and be disciplined with that and then see the payouts later. All right. We're going to pick one of these 5 practical actions and commit to it this week. All right. People think doctors have some secret sauce or we know stuff or healthy people are doing something different. But the longer I practice medicine, I see that just everyday fundamentals help. Sleep, maintaining a healthy weight, exercise, being skeptical of quick fixes, and being consistent. There isn't a secret. The boring things work. The challenge is doing them long enough to let them work. All right. A brief teaser for episode 2. We're going to talk about why is everybody so tired? Not just occasionally tired, but exhausted. We drink the coffee, you're falling asleep on the couch, you're waking up tired, even after you got a full night's rest. Most people assume the answer is simple, but it isn't. In our next episode, we'll explore hidden reasons people feel exhausted all the time. Stress, sleep apnea, medical conditions, surprising everyday habits that may be draining your energy. Because being tired may be common, but that doesn't mean it's normal. I will see you guys next time on The Doctor Next Door.